I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl. No. I wanna be right there in the middle of it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Alexandra May's Music Cafe. I am so excited. This is the premiere. This is our very first time together. So welcome to the cafe. I hope that you've got your cup of coffee, or I've actually got a cake somewhere around here. I do have a piece of cake somewhere. I might get somebody to bring me my cake. Or if you're having lunch or dinner, if you got kids with you or the family. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are here to chat about music, about life, and just how we're all coping together. Today, I've actually got some really cool guests with me. I'm going to bring them all on, and I'll introduce them all to you. Hey! Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hi.
So everybody that's watching over here is Nathan Rowe. He is a singer, songwriter, actor, comedian, all-around amazing person from South Africa. Yeah, don't look funny. Just say yes, thank you. Just say yes,
My
thank you.
comedian face.
And then down here we have, hi Kim. How you doing, Kim?
Hi,
Welcome. So good. I'm just introducing everybody to the viewers.
Hi.
So down below here, we've got my beautiful baby sister. Her name is Isabella Jane. She is a comedian, a singer-songwriter, an actress, musical theater star as well. And then over there, over there, the beautiful lady over there, her name is Cindy Alter. Cindy Alter is an amazing singer-songwriter, #legend from South Africa. So we've got a whole lot of South Africans on the screen. How cool is that?
I am so honored. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for being part of this. Hi, Cindy and Nathan and Isabella. Isabella, it's so pleasure to meet you. I saw you behind the scenes the other day.
Yeah. She pops in every now and then. I just drag her in.
But Cindy, wow, you're a legend.
Oh my goodness.
Such an honor to meet a woman of legendary means, because I know what it takes to get there. So
I think that what it takes to stay there. What are you talking about?
We'll have to have a woman talk on that.
I know how you girls feel.
All right.
Nathan with us.
We're not going to leave you out. So tell
No,
me,
I'm so excited for today's chat because we're all from South Africa. The four of us are from South Africa, and we're all somewhat related in the music industry, right? But we sort of we're all in different aspects. So like my sister's in more of the musical theater, the comedy side. Then Nathan has also got a band and is quite a well-known is also in a well-known band here in South Africa called Lone Hill Estate. And honestly, they have such an iconic look. For us as South Africans, we grew up like knowing what they looked like and their songs. It's ridiculous. And then Cindy, who will be back just now, also we grew up to clout. And what was the I'll be your substitute whenever you want me. And she made
this
South Africa. So I mean, like, it's such a cool, diverse group. It's going to be a really good fat chat.
You know that song "Substitute" was actually #1 on the Billboard charts, ahead of, I think it was something from Greece, like Greece, the musical.
Really?
When that was #2, she was #1.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Cindy beat Greece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's something else to talk about, right?
What we're doing now. We're doing what's around the world. This is what we do. We're connecting around the world, right? So on our TV show, we have that, and we're connecting our communities. But this is about around the world. It isn't about what happened in the U.S. You guys have got your stars, your celebrities, your rockers, and I am so honored to be in the mix of it, especially with this girl. She'll tell you our story. So.
No, I mean, it's just really cool to be part of IBM, because I think as a South African, to be able to be and a part of something global and a part of something that's American as well, and then global is really special for us because often I do feel like we sort of get left out quite sometimes, So it's nice to have a bit of a it's nice to have a voice in the space, on such a great platform. So I actually just want to have a quick shout out to any viewers that are watching. Oh, I'm having a look at our live stream now. We've got Christian watching. Hi there, Christian, and Nerden. Hello, thank you for watching.
Hello, Nerden.
Hey, Navi.
So we're going to have to go live, otherwise we're going to lose our live stream. So are you
Okay.
ready to go? And Kit, are we ready to go?
I'm like, I've just lost Cindy, so like, let's just go. But I'll get Cindy back. I'll get her. I'll get her.
Yeah,
back.
they'll come back. This is part of the show, folks. Is beaming in and out.
It's already live. Games
We're
are already
live,
live.
Tim.
It's
We're
already
live.
live.
What? Oh, we are
We're
live.
It's
Yeah.
already live. Yeah.
We've been
Oh,
here for like 5 minutes.
sorry.
6 minutes.
I guess I was running late. We beam in and out just like Star Trek, right? So, we're in, we're out. So,
That's hilarious.
so it's just an honor. My sidekick and Kit, man, we work all day. We love what we do, and
Yeah.
and Kit, I'm going to break some rules, and I'm having a little bit of glass of rose today, just because it's Sunday. Yeah, there we go. What's in your cup, girl?
Sunday.
What you
It's
got?
Sunday. This is.
I'm having a rooibos chai espresso. So rooibos is our South African tea.
Okay.
Great.
So it's a rooibos infused, a red bush and chai infused latte.
Ooh, chai. I love it. Red and
You actually get like a red bush tea in the States. I've got some friends who do drink red bush, but when they bring it up, I'm like, no. It's rooibos. Say it right, people. It's rooibos, and it's from my country. Say it proper, will you now?
I tell you what, she comes over here and takes us by the storm. Let me tell you. And I got to meet your mom, but she does. She just walks right into Bobby's idle hour, no hold back. Walks up to the biggest guy in the room. Not big and physical, but I'm talking about the one that goes there all the time. And she goes, "Can I borrow your guitar?"
And I did. I just borrowed it. And that's the day we met.
Can I just
She
take
does that to me all the time.
no hold barred? And I liked it. And he goes, "Yeah, here." Not sure what he's doing, or you gotta love Jim. And she walks on that stage and she lets it rip, and I'm like, "Oh my God, Jim, grab her! Don't let her go. She has got it." So, and I had just met these guys that week as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we chatted the other day about that. You'd literally just also met them, but it looked like you were completely at home. And then I waltz in and I meet everybody, and it just became one big happy family at Bobby's Idle Hour.
well, and that whole group is like that. But I think you're like that. I'm like that, and kids like that. I mean, you become family with people real quick, and but it's
We're
about
like-minded.
music. It's about music, right? And like we said, music brings people together. So, is Cindy back yet?
No, I've just contacted her. I think she's having trouble with her internet. But she is trying. She is
I
trying.
actually had a talk with some people in Africa about fixing your telephone networks today.
Really? Would you mind?
It's so bad.
I'm actually doing some other work, right? And they found out my background. I go, "Yeah, I tried to help you guys years ago, but you didn't take my advice." So,
What was your advice?
Oh
So
yeah.
I helped build the information network here in North Carolina. It was the first broadband network ever in the United States on fiber, and I was the lead engineer. And so my advice was to actually build out solid core foundations of where your network crosses, and then build an umbrella of very strong Wi-Fi in a matrix. That was my advice. Very simple.
They so should have done that.
They should have, and everything I was driving for them was not driven off of a full electrical power unit. Everything I could do was off a solar panel for each of the units. So you didn't have to rely on electricity or anything. You use it, but you don't have to rely on it. But we'll get there. This is about music. This ain't about work.
And in order to help get our music out there is if data could fall. There's a whole movement in South Africa called Data Must Fall. And it's try and get data to be cheaper because we're one of the most expensive countries to have data in the world.
Really?
So, yeah. So that's why a lot of South Africans are probably not watching this because all they got is prepaid data on their cell phones and, we have access to it.
You have to pay, they call it gig, right? Because somebody texted me, I want to watch you, but I have to pay for the gig. And I go, no, it's free. And they go, no, I have to pay for the gig. And I go, what is he talking about, gig? And then I realized it's Wi-Fi, right? So I thank you guys for paying for your Wi-Fi and doing this. And so introduce us. You did, but let's talk more. Let's interview your two biggest guests.
So I want to start with Nathan because it's just important to start with Nathan. I think.
Ladies first. Look
at Bella using the screen. Yes, Nathan.
But it's the opposite way around, so I have to really think because I'm like, I want to go this way.
Right? Do this in your soul.
Yeah, just cut Nathan.
That's
Nathan.
what I
mean. Nathan. There we go. Nathan.
Look at you.
Wait, hang on. So Nathan, can you? Okay, I'm talking.
We're doing the pharaoh, right?
This is exactly it. Look like an Egyptian, right? So
like
Nathan,
an Egyptian,
will you please? I would love for you to just tell our audience that's watching tonight how you got to where you are. I think it's good to have a bit of a background of what you've done and how you got to where you are right now. That includes the band. That includes all the little bits. We'll obviously talk about everything in between, but just like a general good story of how you got to where you are now.
Well, it all started in Africa. I started music very late. I wasn't playing guitar at 3 years old and all that stuff. It was only in matric that I actually picked up a guitar for the first time. And that's simply because the girls were watching this other guy in my school play guitar and they were like, oh my goodness, he's so hot right now. And I wanted a little bit of that action. So I picked up a guitar and I started jamming. And I picked it up pretty quick. My dad was a musician, so so I feel that I got some of the genes to pick it up quicker. And then I got involved in bands because that was the thing. My first band was called Born Itchy. And then I entered a music competition on TV called Project Fame, which is basically Big Brother meets Idols. They slammed us in a house for 3 months and taught us. There were singing lessons and dancing lessons and a whole bunch of things. And and I came second in that, which was pretty cool. And I won a record deal with Sony BMG.
Wow.
And then I took the band with me, and we've been together ever since. It's called Lone Hill Estate. We used to have a guy that dressed up in a green lizard outfit. I usually wear goggles, more like that than what I'm wearing now. We used to play a lot. We used to offend a lot of people. We used to cultural appropriate, all the things that are no longer smiled upon. But we had so much fun doing it and good times. And then I joined a swing band more recently.
Wow.
Where we do Rat Pack style music.
Rat Pack.
You love the Rat Pack?
They are amazing.
Oh,
They are amazing, Kim.
Sing with them.
Well, I'm Frank Sinatra, baby.
So my uncle he sang and ran with the Rat Pack. He was part of the Rat Pack group. So I am my heart. Yep.
Awesome. Oh yeah. Amazing. So that's pretty much my story. More recently, I got into musical theater, like this girl, and I played the villain in Kinky Boots, which was really fun.
Yeah, and he was incredible in it.
You see the pictures?
Really
hang on, I got something here.
What a vibe!
So
What a blob.
we have,
Whoa. Look at that.
Whoa.
That over there, the person in the middle is Nathan.
I can tell.
No, it's Earl actually.
No, the middle, not the front, the middle. Oh my god.
Wow, you look so
Right.
rough and tough.
And he
you
dyed
look
his hair and everything for the
wonderful and
part.
sweet, but you look so scary there.
Yeah, my blonde hair is trying to recover, trying to grow back from the root. It's a hard process. If this was a hair discussion, I feel I'd have a lot more to offer, actually.
There's a thing called wig. You know,
Struggle
if
is
you really
real.
don't want to damage those roots. There's a thing called a wig.
Oh my goodness,
I mean,
yes.
you even grew a beard for the part. I mean, and you grew your hair long. It was like a whole thing that you went through. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the sort of I don't know if I could actually cope with that sort of thing, you know, and to sort of
Yeah,
dye my
but-
hair and
When they
You grow
cut
a
my hair was actually quite long when I went in, and then they just lifted it up and cut it like that, and that's how it stayed for 9 months. And
Oh my
just-
Sounds a lot like musical theater.
they looked at a mop and they were like, "Hey, that's the style this guy needs to wear." So it was exceptionally fun walking around. Like I stayed in Cape Town, and obviously there's a lot more rich people there, and they used to avoid me on the sidewalks because they thought I was homeless.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, with the hair and the beard and the grungy
Oh,
look.
Nathan.
The fact that I didn't get out of my pajamas most of the day. Yeah.
You know, if they
Love that.
relied on my hair color for 9 months, they'd be in trouble. Because I changed my hair with the moon or the season. But and somebody one time told me, are you in hiding or something? Your hair color, and it did for a long time until I started the TV show, and then they said, yeah, you got to tone this down a little bit. I
Really?
don't like myself as a brunette, but sometimes I get bored and I do the wrong thing. I don't know about you, Alexander, but sometimes I get really bored, and then my hair pays for it, right? It's like I don't go like real wild colors or red. I might go brunette, heavy brunette. So there she is, our lovely
Hi, Cindy.
Cindy!
Hope your internet's all right. Is your internet all right? Sorry.
So I guarantee you, when
You see, I told you, the computer doesn't like me. Technology. Yeah, my internet's fine. I just have money in my bundle.
I'm just going to come over
I
there.
don't know how it fell apart.
It's okay.
Please.
You're fine. You're here.
Okay,
Don't worry.
did
We're
you run
just
out of the gig?
and
Your
you're fine.
presence is more than enough, Cindy.
And you're so beautiful.
I ran out of
Isn't
So
she?
freaking beautiful.
Oh, so
Look
you
at
know
her
what, Cindy?
skin. Look how beautiful her skin is. And look at that hair. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love her.
I actually want our viewers to get to know Cindy a little bit because Cindy, we just chatted about Nathan and his sort of just journey, just like a general sweep of how you got to where you are, just so the viewers know who they're listening to and who they're looking at. And we've got lots of people watching them, and all these comments are amazing.
I know,
They're all
right?
like all of us. It's incredible. Hello to everyone. Hello, Cheryl Lee. Hello, everybody. Frank, we see
seeing
you.
them all there. Oh, this
This
is
is so cool.
What I'm
so
enjoying is the engagement too. It's one thing that you're with all of these wonderful people,
Yeah.
but the engagement from your loving fans and the comments, that we're getting is like, wow, check this out.
This is so
Nathan, you
cool.
got fans out there. So, but Cindy, go. I'm sorry. It's your turn, Alexandra.
No. You know what, Cindy? Will you give us like a good sweep of just how you got to where you are? We'll obviously dive into little bits and pieces that I would really love to elaborate on. But can you just like chat about just your general journey when it comes to your music and your life getting to where you are now?
I think most people know my bloody story. It's so long and boring. It is. But I'm still alive today, surprisingly. Not because of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, trust me. But, I've always said music chose me when I was a kid.
Yeah, I love that.
I didn't even know anything about that. My mother used to say I used to sing in the car when things were on the radio. She'd hear me humming and she thought, how the hell does this child know the song? It's impossible. She's never heard it before. And
You just had it in your memory somehow. You just
yeah,
it
but the
bounced it.
second verse, you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got the chorus and you got the verse down.
And you sort of follow like the chord structure. You sort of know that they're gonna climax a certain point here. You sort of know what the bridge is
Absolutely.
gonna be. You can sort of picture the song already. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking. And in those days, the stuff on radio was like simple pop songs. So it was so
Yeah.
easy to hum along, you know. Build
Good
me up,
hooks.
build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me know. I mean, that's like, bruh. So lovely pop stuff. And I mean, I started way before that stuff, of course. Just traveled through my school years fighting the fact that I had to be at school because all I wanted to do was sing, dance, and
Yeah.
act. Oh, no dancing. Sorry, the dancing. This one does not dance. No.
You don't do like a jiggle or a
No.
soki?
No.
South African soki?
If you put me on the dance floor, I will amaze myself. But if you had to say to me that we had the show once, it was a big show, Anne Williams was producing, we had all these dancers and stuff, and they said, right, Cindy, you've just got to do step together, step cross, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, after about 10 times, they said to me, you know what, you just stand there in the middle and everybody will dance around you.
That's
Because
so
I
funny.
can't do steps. I cannot. But I can do free fall, you know, just go mad. So
Yeah.
no dancing, singing. I studied as a drama student when I was young, but I always sort of knew that I wasn't going to be a drama. I wasn't going to be an actress. I was going to be a singer. So followed that path, had a band in school, played at various little coffee bars and hotel lounges, and eventually was asked to go on tour with Bobby Angel, who was a big star at the time, big country star. And I went on tour. I opened for Bobby Angel. Then he spoke to somebody and somebody else heard me. And then I was going on tour with the Bats and Mel Miller. And then
How old were you at that time? How old were you? Like you were in your late teens.
I was 18, yeah. I just left school. I was 17, 18. I mean, I started playing in clubs, not clubs, mostly pubs and little coffee shops from about 14. You know, I would play in these little places. Yeah. I had a guitar teacher who just thought I was the bee's knees. And he used to take me to all these places like, you've got to hear this kid. You've got to hear this kid. And I even played at Des and Dawn soiree. They used to have a soiree once a month. And
Wow.
that was a big deal because I was a kid, you know, and there was all these grown-ups, you know, the big folk people.
Oh yeah, the old people.
The old folk people, they were just like so well known. Des and Dawn and Colin Shamley and Colin
You're
Shapiro.
mentioning names here that are just crazy for me.
David Marks. These guys are legends.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I grew up mostly in the folk thing, but then in school I had this heavy rock band. Like we used to play Zeppelin and Uriah Heep and like Grand Funk Railroad and all the cool stuff. And then I learned to start really projecting myself as more, not like a little pop folky singer. I started getting the rock feel, you know. And then once that took the bug, I was finished for that. It was like, okay, this is my thing. And then, of course, like Fleetwood Mac came out and Heart came out. And suddenly there were girls I could sort of look at and say,
Queens.
wow, there's some stuff, you know, because before that, there weren't any real rock chicks.
No, they were sort of in the blues and they were maybe in the pop scenes and whatever, but to have a rock chick who you could just have as an icon, there wasn't until that sort of time.
There wasn't anything. So, like, you know, Fleetwood Mac came like Susie Quattro. She was like amazing bass player girl with leather suits on, and it was like, okay, now we're talking my kind of genre.
Yeah,
and it took me a while to place myself that way because I didn't want to be a hard rock singer, but I wanted to be able to sing anything. I want to be able to sing the folk stuff and the harder rock stuff. And I think I just evolved into that because I auditioned for a band called Queen Bee with a whole bunch of girls. Yeah. And they wanted me to be the singer and a backing singer and a guitarist, which I did. And then Queen Bee became Clout. And Clout became still the biggest selling band ever in South Africa. I've heard the latest Toll, and I got this from I'm speaking Marsh. They said that, and as well Merlin. And okay. we 17 million albums sold worldwide since 1978. Yeah,
How insane is that?
That's
How
mad.
insane is that?
Mad. And no other South African
It's
artist has done
record
it.
breaking for us.
Yeah, it is record
Anyway.
breaking. And it's like, be proud, be proud of when South African artists actually break through. We should
Yeah.
be proud because it's not an easy feat. And when for us especially, it was a very difficult thing because it was full on apartheid. Everybody was banned. Nobody was allowed to go here, no go there. If you went overseas, you were boycotted for life. If anybody came here, they were boycotted for life.
Mhm.
So it was tough times. And it was just the start of the women's movement, which was spectacular. We had these young girls. We can do this, we can rock. We don't have to just be chicks, who just listen to folk music or whatever. So we had this crossover thing where the women, the girls were just going girl power.
Yeah.
And the men were throwing underpants at us.
I think that, you know what's awesome, Cindy, is that you have this
mad.
legendary career, and
it's insane.
You
So
are where you are right now because
it was a
everything.
4-year crazy journey, #1 all over the world, selling albums. No problems within the band ever. There was no fighting and in band arguments or stuff. We were all just.
Oops.
Kim, you wanted to say something?
They were throwing
Yes, Kim.
underwear. It's like the women throwing bras at Paul McCartney, right?
I love that. It's like exactly the same thing.
Wow, she is
Cindy's
a rock star. She
Cindy's
is a
just
rock
paying for her gig.
What?
Cindy's just paying for her gig quick, and then she'll be back.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
paying for a gig. She'll be back as soon as she's paid for her gig.
Slot machine, right?
Yeah, it's a little slot machine. This thing to swipe the card. So it needs to swipe her card,
So we have to drop out every 10 minutes just to
Hey,
go
I'm
and
all for that.
pay for the data.
But,
she will be back. She will be
what
back.
a rock
as soon as she's paid for her.
star. What a rock
Wasn't she just
star.
incredible? And you know what I find amazing about her career, and I wanted to tell her this. Since she's back, I will tell her this. But we sort of have established our careers in a time which is quite interesting, where we've got access to technology. The world is a lot smaller. We just got to pay for our gigs, but the world's a lot smaller, and we got access to different people. But she established her career in a time that was almost impossible to establish her career because of apartheid, for one, and then there is no access to the real world. She's one of the only women in her industry doing her own genre. So it was just it's a really incredible thing that she was able to establish that in that time, and she's got this amazing career that has a foundation in such, I don't know, like a quicksand time, So I think she's a real inspiration for anyone that wants to do anything with their lives. I find her just the most incredible inspiration.
For anyone, but when you talk about women, especially from our time, which I know that she and I are from the same time frame, it was just a complicated time for women to come out into business, let alone the music business. I'm not in the music business. Guys, I sing in the shower, right? I cut one song, and that's when I met Alexandra. I was working with Jim.
You met Alexandra in the shower?
No, I cut a song, and that's when I met Alexandra. Was when I was working on a song, I guess. But anyway, it was funny. No, we didn't meet in the shower singing. I swear to God. But no, that's where I sing most of the time. I did sing one song on recording, but I'm nowhere near your voices or your talent. But Cindy, you are a rock star. I mean, from your time frame, I just want to give a toast that what you did, you didn't just do it for women, but you were changing the stars for many other people.
Yeah, cheers for women and for the time that you were in and everything, and for where you are now. Inspiration. Cheers to everybody. Cheers, Kim.
Thank you.
Kim.
Wrong way.
Oh,
I need to.
we need 2 cups of coffee.
I need to. But what she went through was amazing during that time frame. I mean, not many women could even cross over those bridges, right?
Yeah.
You have to
Wow.
look at that. And to
Can
do
anybody hear me?
Yes. Have
Yeah.
the show. Have the show.
Well, I think let's chat to my sister Isabella Jane. Let's chat to. There we go. Now you're here. There we go. Hi, Bella. How are you, Bella?
Hello, I'm fine. And how's everyone?
Good. Well, now you've met Kim, which is exciting because I talk a lot about Kim and the team. So now
Yeah.
you've met everybody. But just to let our viewers know, I'm going to quickly go to our comments now. Shame, everybody's commenting. Shirley, we see you. You guys are so talented. Thank you so much. And Sarah Fripp, we see you. Nick, hello. Thank you. Tammy, hello. So Bella, I just want our viewers to know, and Cindy, you need to know this. Bella was it Thursday or Friday, Belle?
Friday.
Mm,
Thursday.
Friday. She became less wise. She had a wisdom tooth removed. So she's a little bit swollen, and but she's pushing through, and she wants to do the show anyway. So to our viewers out there, this is a real rock star as well. We don't have just this one rock star. We have Nathan, who's also a rock star, and then we have my sister, that way, who's also a real rock star for pushing through and doing this. Nathan, oh shoot, I gotta get this right. I really have to get this right. So Bella's just had her wisdom tooth removed, but she's here and she's #winning. Belly, give everybody, like we have, like with everyone else, just given like a good sweep of how you've gotten to where you are now. We'll obviously dive into little bits and pieces as we go on in the show, but just like a good basic roundup of how you've gotten where you are now.
So I am what one can call a multi-potentialite. I do a bunch of things. It's really a fancy way of saying unfocused. And I started singing when I was 5 years old. My sister, Alexandra, I call her Ali, is my sister. And when she was like 7, 6, and I was 4 or 5, we would be singing nursery rhymes and I would automatically be going into harmonies. So my ear was
This
bred
chicken
to.
has an ear like to kill things. She has the most
Can you show us
incredible
an
ear.
example of your harmonizations, please? I mean,
Harmonized by
the two of
herself.
you.
Okay. The two of us, what should we do? Just quickly do like we should all do a harmony. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'll sing the melody. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I love it. Amazing. Carry on with your story, Belle.
So I started off with singing at the beginning of my little career, and that was a really cool journey, doing children's theatre, playing all sorts of princesses, being in school plays and being in real plays too. And when I was about 9, 10 years old, I saw ventriloquism for the first time, and that made sense to me. So I started doing ventriloquism, and it became, I wouldn't call myself a ventriloquist because it was really in the form of therapy and therapy puppets and having someone to speak to and finding my voice beyond being a shy little girl. I was able to really find myself through this little puppet, and she became a very big part of my life. We went on to do South Africa's Got Talent, which is Got Talent, but the South African one. And we became second in that, which really kickstarted my ventriloquism career in the country, which was amazing. And from there, I was able to do a lot of work in townships and with schools and do motivational talks and really pure entertainment as well. I've dabbled in comedy and stand-up. I've dabbled in ventriloquism, entertainment, corporate hosting, and a bit of musical theatre. So the musical theatre side of life, I traveled with the international touring cast of Evita for about 3 years of my life, and I've just come off a tour in China. I relanded, really, you can call it in the nick of time, from China, and I was playing the mistress there. So that was a really cool experience, just traveling the world and singing and acting and doing all
You pretty much traveled everywhere besides for certain, but you pretty much traveled the whole of Asia and China, all those countries before you were 21.
Wuhan?
Yeah, actually, I went to Wuhan, which is I was in there last September.
Who was there?
which it's a beautiful, beautiful city. They've got one of the most beautiful botanical gardens in the world. It's a phenomenal place. Everything there is beautiful. But yeah, I did the majority of that before I turned 21. I was in Beijing for my 21st, so I was quite well traveled.
Here we
Quite
go.
well traveled.
Oh, yay! I'm so proud of you, young people. You're getting used to the new social normalization. I'll back
Oh, yeah.
out. So
It's hard when you have glasses because they messed up.
They missed out. That's the problem. My mom finds it on
no.
YouTube.
See, you need to watch our show. We teach you how to wear masks, and also I've been posting it. There's a way you fold it under and tuck it. So when you fold it,
Well,
under, tuck it.
I'll
it won't fall.
Our president, he puts shame.
Oh.
He's a first class, first world president. He's been phenomenal, but he did a wonderful, and he brought the country together with this moment after a speech, and he put his mask on.
Oh, shit. He couldn't figure out how he was trying to put his mask on, and he just put it over his eyes, and we all just fell more in love with him. But it was just so gracious.
Look at him.
It was so wonderful.
It was actually it brought the whole country together, that moment, because
It really
everyone
has.
was so stressed and at the end of their ropes, and when he did that, I think everyone just had a good laugh, and he had a good laugh at himself about it as well, which was beautiful.
He said he's going to start a TV show teaching us all how to put on our masks.
So maybe
I love
you need to get in touch with him, and maybe you guys could do a collab.
We should do a collaboration.
Good. So
love
we
that.
have Dr. Sagu who taught me how to wear it right. So I'm putting it on upside, reverse. So there's a dark side and a light side. I didn't know this, like Darth Vader, right? There's the dark side and the light side. But on most of the masks, and those depend on the filter directions. Do you want to protect yourself from outside, or do you want to protect the outside from you? And then, so then there are other ways, and then there are ways to prevent your goggles from getting fogged up, and then there are the right masks that you wear to prevent. So I've been having fun listening to all the doctors on our show share with us about how to wear a mask. I'm glad you guys are wearing masks and not afraid of it. Darth Vader, actually, if you look back in our science fiction books, they defined our trend, right? This is what we're going to be wearing, Darth Vader mask. I've
wanted to be a ninja my whole life, so I'm happy.
There you go. I'm I'm a stormtrooper. So I've been searching for the clothes, right? But the masks are going to be very, very important in our lives. Thank you for sharing that. Your mask is very similar. My son's been making that. He's stuck in New York. And he didn't know what to do because he kind of got caught between jobs while he was going up there. So he's hand sewing masks, just like the one you have in your hand, Nathan. And with the nose that goes up a little higher.
Yeah, so like sort of does that shape.
So the CDC makes what they approve. They have a template up there, what they approve for proper face mask. I didn't know any of this. I thought you get a mask, you put it on.
We've got an awesome movement in South Africa called 10 million masks, and they're busy sewing masks for people all over the country, which is quite beautiful.
And, a lot of people don't know this. So the doctors were real fearful of us wearing masks, right? But I kept saying it's not for the person trying to protect themselves from the disease. It's to protect others from your disease. Because that's why we use them in our labs. I'm an engineer by trade. So when we wear our clothing and our mask, it's not really about protecting us always. It's about protecting our experiments. So people didn't realize that we really don't care about you. We care about other people.
But that's the problem. I think that a lot of people didn't realize that, because I had this really weird experience. We've been in lockdown for how many weeks in South Africa? Like 5 weeks or so, I think. And it was about a week before we went into lockdown, our president sort of announced like a shutdown. And from that week, I had started wearing a mask, like in preparation. I knew what was coming. I was also planning on going to the States around that time. So I sort of was quite aware of what was happening, and I wanted to prep myself. So at the time I was wearing my mask, but I went to the shops, to this little farm little little farmers market, and there weren't a lot of people that day. So I thought, I'm not going to wear my mask over me. There's not lots of people. I'm pretty safe. I'm not going to pass it on. And exactly that. I don't want to pass it on to you in case I
Exactly.
have it, because I might be fine. I might be young enough. I might be healthy enough to cope with it, but I don't know who I'm passing it on to. So that's why I'm wearing it. But I thought I was fine. I'm staying distance. I'm fine. I get to the till, and the lady that's busy packing my groceries into the boxes for me to take home, she looked at me and started laughing at me. And I sort of looked at her like, listen, I'm not going to impose my views on you, but don't now make fun of me for making a choice, a choice that I believe is the right choice. And so she started laughing at me, and she literally it was open. My mask was it around my neck and open here. She literally took my mask and she pulled the string and she flung it back and laughed at me. And I was so angry with her because firstly, you've come into my space, you're making fun of me, and you've touched my mask. And I
Real.
thought opposite. That is the opposite of what you should be doing. I literally looked at her, put on my mask, and I walked out. Like I was like, I'm not taking this anymore. How dare you?
That's right.
My
I'm going
mask.
to pull up my slap them in the back of the head picture.
I
No,
think
because
you slap them once, and then you just have to wash your hands.
Oh,
And be wise and sanitize.
Be wise.
I
That
mean, seriously, I mean, you can't. Okay, first off, it's all about being safe, right? So take care of yourself first. I always say, love yourself first, then you love others. But again, we kept saying to everyone, let's see if I could pull this up. You got to see this. This is my favorite video. Can you see that?
yeah.
That's what you should have done, Allie.
That's cute.
Oh, cutie. It looks like my kitty.
Shame. How cute.
Hey, don't treat
That
me
is
like
so
that.
funny.
Get a
Oh
grip.
my God.
Get a grip, people. Get a grip.
Oh my gosh.
Get a
Yeah.
grip.
Oh man.
Let's get
That's funny.
smart. We had 4-year-olds today on our show.
I hopped in and I saw that. They were very cute. Very
So-
cute.
Oh,
But what we're trying to do is get young kids talk about the COVID, right?
Yeah.
And to share their views, and I know, but here's what's funny. When you get them in front of a camera and they think they're on TV, whoop, whoop,
No, they
goofy.
get all very shy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They get shy all of a sudden. I have my American family that I stay with in the States. They've got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. Oh, might be 11 now and turning 8. And the little girl, she loves to write songs with me. Whenever I go, we write songs and we do our thing. And I sit on the carpet and we're busy writing and looking at rhyming words with her and everything. The second I get the equipment out to record it, to get it down for the mom, she gets so shy. And I'm trying to figure out how to coach her through it, but she gets so shy. Shame. It's very sweet.
Sure.
Very
I
sweet.
know. I mean, I would spend hours on FaceTime with my niece every once in a while. She'll call me and we'll spend nonstop. Shares the whole world with me. Boom, we're on TV. Hi.
But shy, yeah. Oh,
But
shame.
I know if you get them warmed up, what's cool is their conversation, their adult conversation about what COVID is, right?
Mm.
Oh my
It's
God.
the dumb things.
They educate you adults so much about what life really is, right? And but no, what we're doing today, I think, was predicted in our science fiction books. If you look at Darth Vader's clothing, to breathe, and then all of a sudden we know. And I kept saying, okay, because I keep pulling up Darth Vader's mask. This is what I'm going to wear. But then you look at his laser, and we go, what is the laser for? Now we know the laser kills the germs, right?
Yeah.
we just need a laser
We just need a laser.
or a lightsaber.
I think, guys, let's do. What do you guys say about doing some music? Because everybody here is commenting these little music notes, and obviously
Yeah, let's get some cafe music.
we got some awesome legends here. So I think should we do a writers round for the viewers that are watching? Should we do a bit of a writers?
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. So just so that the guys at home know what a writers round is. So in New York and LA, you guys would probably have heard of an open mic, and open mics are quite a normal thing. In in Nashville, I'm talking to you, Nathan, now. In Nashville, they don't have open mics. They have things called writers' rounds, which is for a whole lot of singer-songwriters to hop on stage. They're all plugged in. They all got their mics ready, and they each sing a song in turn, all original music, and they tell the little story to go with the song. And as an audience member, I can tell you it's one of my favorite things to do. As somebody who does it, it is one of my favorite things to do. So I think we should do a writers' round here in true Nashville style, and we tell our stories, and I think it's a great idea.
Perfect.
So are we all keen?
Keen as well.
Amazing. I think I'm going to start off, but first I'm going to tune for your ears only. I'm
This is
going
so
to
unexpected.
have this. All right. I'm so excited for this. I really am. You guys hear that nicely?
Everybody's guitar.
Love that. All right, so I'm gonna do a song that I actually wrote with a guy from the States. And that's like cheating, isn't it? It's like
It's taller than mine.
Which one?
Yeah.
nice. So that's fine. I think something's up, but there we go. So I'm gonna start off the round, and then we can go like
That way.
that. How does that sound? So then Nathan, then
Okay.
Belle, then you. That sounds good, yeah? Okay, cool. So shame. Shirley has just commented, writers' rounds are awesome. Yay, Shirley. I'm so glad you're with us on this. So I'm going to start off with a song that I wrote with a guy called Dennis Morgan. Now, Dennis Morgan wrote a bunch of hits by Fleetwood Mac. He wrote songs he wrote songs for Aretha Franklin. He wrote songs for Neil Diamond. And he also wrote the song, Love changes everything. Da, 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 da. He's a co-writer on that song, Dennis
You
Morgan.
like the da-da-da part as well.
I think that was all him.
Wow. Da-da-da-da. That's my favorite part. The only part I know.
Lol. So I was lucky enough to be in a room with him, and we wrote this song together, and it's called Typical Girl. You guys might have heard it in the introduction. It's
Love
called
it.
Typical Girl. And I worked on the song with a friend of mine called Sloan. He's a South African producer, and he's such a gem to work with. I've worked with him in the past when I was like 28, 19 years old or so. So this song is called Typical Girl. Hope you guys like it. I ain't no typical girl in a typical world. I like to butter my bread with a pocket knife instead. I like to drink my rum measured out by 6 thumbs in a glass of ice cubes, sparkling like pearls. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I wasn't born of cliches, and I can outfly fish any man, any day. I like to ride my horse, flash and rock through thunderstorms a lot, as the dark clouds above us start to swirl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. And my head is full of schemes that I'll follow till the end. And my heart is full of dreams of make-believe and pretend. And I'll make them all come true, sure as the hound wins. And like a pirate flag that's been unfurled, I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't no typical girl. I ain't cheerleading while the boys play ball. I ain't no typical girl. I wanna be right there in the middle of it all. And your mama may not like me if she's looking for some typical pearl like me. Oh no, I ain't no typical girl. 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 Woo, thank you. Thank you very much. That's one of my favorite songs I've ever written in my entire life. I have to be honest, one of my favorite songs ever. Yeah.
Amazing. Me.
Yeah.
Nathan, go next. Tell us the story, Nathan. Go for it.
Okay, so this is a song that I just wrote called "Typical Girl." I'm just a typical girl. I'm joking.
Most popular song in South Africa.
That's hilarious.
Great song, Ellie. Great song. I don't know. One song that I usually do at a writers' round, at one of your writers' rounds, is a song called "Chika Taki Mo," which
It's my
is
favorite.
it's a bit of a weird song because it's actually a really sad song, but everyone seems to find it quite funny.
It's
So,
a great song. It's a great song.
Thank you.
I see the realness and I find it tragic. You know, I don't laugh with you, I cry with you.
It's funny, kind of tragic. But I suppose, I mean, it's the way it's sung because it came from a dream that I had about a Xhosa lady. So the Xhosa people are a group of people in South Africa. It's a language, one of our official languages. And it was a woman riding on a horse and with a machete in her hand. So when I woke up, I wrote the song and it just came out with a slight Spanish feel.
It's so great. Okay.
It goes like this. They call her Chika Taki Mo, for she was born upon a mountain. A story very long ago. I am reluctant to repeat it. You'll see Skabangas came at night time. Oh, Bulala Mama Baba. Then they beat her black and blue. And the hate grew up inside her. So baby, just roll with me, roll with me. That's how I roll, baby, run. Like a loaded gun. She learned to fight with the machete. She learned to wield the loaded gun. Became defender of the people to protect the weaker one. So baby, just roll with me, roll with me. That's how I roll, baby, run like a loaded gun. Oh baby, just roll with me, roll with me. Chika Taki Mo, don't run from anyone. And one day when she was riding, she came across a family who had fallen victim to a Tsotsis killing spree. So she chased him to the forest, where she shot him with her gun. Our hero didn't even know that the Tsotsi had a son. And the hate inside she knew now grew inside. him too. So baby, just roll with me, roll with me. That's how I roll, baby, run like a loaded gun. Oh baby, just roll with me, roll with me. Take out that keyboard or run from anyone.
I love that song. I love that song. It's so, oh man, high fives, high five. Wait, there we go. High five. Boom. No, I remember because I just so our viewers know, I have an event called Writers Round that I brought to South Africa because I just loved the concept, and I had Nathan as a feature one evening. I think that might have actually been the first song that you sang, and it just you're like, you know what, you're a great songwriter, you're a great singer, but then you're a flipping comedian, you're like flipping hilarious, and I love the story and the way you act. Just Nathan, you're all round absolutely amazing. Just hashtag amazing, putting it out there for the world to know.
Thank you. It's one of the saddest songs I've ever written. I'm so glad you find it so
No,
humorous.
you know, I find it very sad as a tear of sadness and happiness, if I can say that. Okay. Well, Bella, it's your turn, Bella. Go for it.
Okay,
Go, Bella.
so this is my song called Typical Girl.
Oh, you're funny. That's very funny.
I'm joking. I actually wrote it about, it's actually very similar to Nathan's one, just with aliens instead. So it's all about the intergalactic universe and aliens like wiping minds and stuff. It's just an annoying love.
Carbon copy.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But
think of all this stuff. It's amazing to me what comes into your head.
it's the same as Nathan. It just comes from dreams. And I spoke to Joseph with his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and he said, yes, this is a good love song that you need to write. So it goes like this: I close my eyes.
That's one of the first songs I sang in lockdown was "Close every door to me, keep those I love from me."
I've been doing Children of Corona. I've been doing
Always alone.
and we call them Coronial.
Here we go.
Shame. But I've been doing children's stories with Rosie, my puppet, and I've been doing Bible stories, and like I've been wanting to do Joseph, but I'm so afraid that I'm going to start singing "Go Go Go Joseph," you know what they say, instead of telling the actual stories. I'm trying to step away from Joseph. Anyways, this is my song about the intergalactic universe, but it's just a love song. Like a comet shooting through the sky, I see my forever in your eyes. Like shooting stars flying in our galaxy, I love the way that you look at me. Galaxies, like shooting stars flying in our galaxy. I love the way that you look at me. Aliens could come and wipe our minds, but our stars will always align. Galaxies, galaxies, hold me. Let's dance to outer space, hold me. Name the stars, paint the Milky Way. Hold me, put your hands around my waist, hold me. Let's dance to outer space, hold me. Name the stars, paint the Milky Way. Galaxies, galaxies, galaxies.
Oh, it's beautiful. You played that one at a writers' round in Nashville when you came with me to Nashville, and I heard it for the very first time, like live, and I just remember like sort of tinkering along the guitar. It was beautiful. People were just like watching you. You've got a beautiful voice, Belle. I mean, I say this all the time. You've got the most incredible voice.
Thank you.
And the fact that you are less wise because you are missing a wisdom tooth and you're still able to do this. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
Nothing painkillers can't help here and there.
You should change the lyrics to a song to cavity.
I love
It was
that.
an emergency extraction, Nidon. I needed to get it out.
It was actually our very first trip out of the house. It was so weird. We hadn't left the house in like 5-6 weeks, and then Bella needed this emergency extraction. So I said, okay, I'll take it because my mom can't do that sort of thing. She doesn't.
And my
like,
dad just
doesn't like it either. So I was like, I volunteer as tribute, and I will go and take my sister to the dentist. So we had our masks on, we had our hand sand, we were like walking out there, don't touch anything, don't touch anyone, stay away from me. And it was an interesting experience driving out in South Africa, like during lockdown.
This is driving. This is driving, folks.
Yeah.
Don't come near me.
Oh
No,
my God.
all this. No, but beautiful song, and Nathan, you got a fan now. So and then we got the woohoo, so pretty for you. You do have a lovely voice too. I mean, I can't imagine all of you, and I can't wait to hear Cindy. I know Cindy's going to rock, but I'm going to bow out
Okay.
and give you guys your room. So
Thanks, Kim.
What is happening? Can anybody hear me?
We're with you, Cindy.
You. We're with you.
Thanks, Ann.
Did you ask me to sing?
Yes, go for it.
I'm
We were
lost.
just talking about you. Don't worry. You're totally with us, and we're with you all the way. Go. It is now your turn. So will you sing a song and tell us a bit
Now I
of a
can hear
story?
you.
Oh no. Oh no. As she's there.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
What is going on?
It's just a
I
slight
have
delay.
no idea. Okay,
I
good.
think
You're broadcasting from the
Let me
past.
try. If it breaks
We
down in
interrupt
the
this
middle,
program.
that's so it be it.
the show
So
goes
it be
on.
it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
We can hear
There
you.
was a delay with you guys as well.
That's all fine. We can hear you loud and clear.
Bigger than I thought.
Should I still play?
Yes.
Okay. Fairly new song. I think it's very apt for where we are in our lives right now, because it's called The Last One Standing, and I wrote it sort of about me as a musician standing there on the stage right at the end going, I'm still here, I'm still doing this, but I think it applies to everybody who's standing, all the survivors right now. So this is for everybody. Fight. All we ever do is fight. Are we ever gonna learn? Are we ever gonna learn? Dream. All we ever do is dream, because reality stings and leaves us breathless. And when our time is over, and we've lived enough. Can we look over her shoulders and see everything was love when the curtain falls and they hear the calls? Who would be the last one standing when the stage is bare and there's no one there? Will you be the last one standing? Sing. All I ever did was sing. Sometimes it didn't mean a thing because nobody was listening. Feel like every moment was so thin, like talent staring at my skin, and leaving me hollow. When my time is over and I've lived enough, and I look over my shoulders and see everything was love when the curtain falls and I hear the calls. Will I be the last one standing when the stage is bare and there's no one there? Will I be the last one standing? 'Cause all we ever do is run, 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 like someone chasing with a gun, gun, gun. Will you ever be the one, the one, the one? All I ever do is run, 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 like someone chasing with a gun, gun, gun. Will I ever be the one to say I'll be the last one standing? Be the last one standing. Be the last one standing, yeah. The last one, the last one. Oh, when that curtain falls and I hear the calls, will I be the last one standing? When the stage is bare and there's no one there, will I be the last one standing? Oh, when that curtain falls and I hear the calls, will I be the last one? Will I be the last one standing?
Yes, Queen. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Singing, I mean, I say it every time and I sound like a broken record, but you are just so incredible. You are an
Oh.
inspiration. You know, I just want to dive in for a second because you spoke about your journey and how the song is also quite a special. I love this song. I've heard you play it a couple of times live. I know the words now. I was singing along. I love the song.
Yay! You could have sung harmonies.
I would have chucked them in there. I would have. Next time I'm going to chuck them in there. But I want to talk. I want you to talk about something. You wrote a book a little while ago, and I'm actually going to show a picture of something. You wrote this book called No Substitute. And actually, my birthday last year, you wrote this little message inside my book. This is my book, my copy of it. And I would love it if you could just chat to us about this book. What was the inspiration behind it? Or what was the motivation behind writing the book? And did it teach you any lessons? You know, did you explore yourself in that time? Sort of exploring yourself in depth when it comes to your history? How did it help you moving forward? I would just love to know those little bits and pieces. Please, can you tell our listeners?
I'd love to. I've been for years and years, people have been saying to me, my God, you've got such stories, girl. You've got such inspirational stories. Write it. So I started collecting, when I was living in America still, I started collecting notes and little ideas and pictures and, oh, maybe I should do this and maybe I should do that. And I was starting to put it together. And when I came here, I sort of fiddled around with it again and again. And then finally, a friend of mine, David Cashel, just said, listen, I'll help you do a skeleton, just so you know where you're going to put everything. Not write the book. I'd written everything. But the point was just how do I put this all together? And when I did, it came out exactly the way I wanted to do. It came out as if I was speaking. I'm telling the story, and how I speak is a certain way. And people say, oh my God, I can hear you saying this. So I've had incredible things happen to me in my life and incredibly terrible things happen to me in my life. And everything that I've learned from this is that we are stronger than we know.
Yeah.
You know, look at what we're all going through right now. I mean, nobody believed they could stay home for 5 weeks and just do what we needed to do. Everybody's like, oh, it's never going to happen. And I've got to drink and I've got to do this. And we've done it. So the human, what's the word? The resilience of a human being is just so amazing to me. I'm constantly reminded that people have resilience and people can fight back and people can rise above. And for me, I mean, being in an abusive relationship that I never thought I'd ever be able to get out of, I got out of it. And I got out pretty much intact. Took me a long time, but I got out intact. Then I had cancer, and the cancer broke me. I never thought I'd ever be able to be normal again. And I'm normal again, you know? And it's about patience. It's about getting to know yourself and surrendering and stop being so bloody hard on ourselves, because we are. I've got the biggest cat o' nine tails with studs and the whole Geschichte on it. And I beat myself regularly with that thing. Come on, you're not good enough. You're not doing enough. You should be more. No. And all these little voices in the committee. You know, I've got a committee, for God's sake. You know, they tell us these things. You're just not enough. You're not. Nobody ever just goes, Cindy, wow. You know, nobody in the committee will ever come and pat me on the back and say, my God, you've done some amazing. You're a lovely person. You're this, that, you know. And it's not about ego. This has nothing to do about ego. I should have had a huge ego. I should have been like, bugger everybody. Why should I even talk to you, you minions? Look what I've done in my life. But you know what? That's absolute trash. A healthy ego.
We prefer plebiscites, actually.
Pardon?
We prefer to be called plebiscites.
Plebiscite. Oh, sorry. I thought Minions was the in thing. That little movie for kids.
I'm a minion.
All right, plebiscite.
I'm a minion fan.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, for God's sake.
She's my best friend. Oh, no. Thank you. Yeah, they got Minion napkins on our dollar store.
Those Minions are so cute.
They are.
The whole point is learn something. Learn something from this life that we are living. That book for me was so cathartic because I finally wrote it all down. I put it down on paper and I was able to let go. I was finally able to just let go of all the hard things I had to deal with. I just was like, what? They're there. They're done. They've finished. Let's move on.
Doesn't it feel good to put it on paper? It feels great.
I've been doing it since I was a kid. I mean, I bet you some of you were writing when you were young. I know I was. I'd have these little school books, you know, little lined school book, and I would write my feelings from when I was an absolute kid, and I've kept every one of them.
So, Cindy, I'm a big book reader. My other show, I have my bookcase behind me.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm always pulling a book out and referencing. How do I get your book? How does our fans get your book?
My book is available on Kindle for the overseas fans, which is great. I'd like to do a hard copy, but I want to see how the Kindles go. I do hard copy in South Africa, so anybody can just buy it from me directly. I've already taken orders. People have already paid me, and I've got a little list of the ones I will be making deliveries to as soon as this is all over.
I'll do with you like I did Henny Morales. I'll just fly out there and get my book. I don't want Kindle.
Please do that.
I like Kindle. I like my book. I like to. I'm a beach.
I'm a book reader.
I'm a book reader. I read a book a day at the beach. That's my vacation.
Yes,
I have a little hideaway. Everybody goes, "Where do you go?" I can tell you. And I spend every day, I kid you not, every day reading a book.
What are you reading today?
So no, when I'm on vacation. I'm not on vacation.
I read
everybody who's on COVID's on vacation except me.
Yeah,
my work doubled. So
I was actually terrified when this whole thing happened. I thought, I can't buy books or go to my book exchange. So I sent a message to our manageress at the building. We've got quite a large complex. And I said, listen, does anybody want to start a book exchange? Because I have like 12 books here that I usually would take to the book exchange and just change them up. So she said, cool. And she put it out there. And then a whole bunch of people left books at her place. I go there, wipe them down, check it out. And I've been able to have a little library.
That is such a good idea, Cindy. I love that, and I love how. I mean, it's a very scary time being in COVID-19 and being in lockdown right now in South Africa. But it's amazing how, in little ways, in ways we didn't realize, community is being drawn together. Like you just give this example. I think it's actually incredible.
How it used to be in the old days, I'll call it. When
it used to be how it should be.
Neighbors knew everybody. People helped. People would say, oh my God, somebody's been ill. 20 people would bring them a casserole. You know what I'm saying?
At funeral, you have 50 casseroles.
But you know what? People took care of people. Now, I'm sorry to say, but it's become the me society. And everybody just doesn't give a shit about anybody else. And listen, you've got to take care of yourself first. If you don't take care of yourself first, you cannot take care of anybody. But self-care, not selfish.
There's a difference. There's a difference. Because if you're not well, you can't take care of others.
Absolutely. You've got to be well in yourself.
So there's a balance.
That's exactly. I love that. I love the idea of this balance. I love the idea of taking care of yourself, Cindy. And
beautiful.
By doing this book, you have, like you've said, you've written it all down. You've sort of vented. You've gotten the worst of it out, and you're able to put it in the bookshelf and start a new chapter. And you are beautiful. You are thriving. You are amazing, and you are incredible. So if everybody that's watching, go and download this book. Go read this book. Go and be inspired. And I mean, this woman just will. I mean, no matter what she does, everything she does inspires.
Book signing. We'll do a book signing.
Yes.
We're gonna do a book signing.
I'm happy to do it, darling.
Everything. I think I agree with you. We'll do it live here. We'll do everything like that. I love that.
Nick and I, we do book.
Oops.
I love it.
You do book.
Well, I did book too.
I also did book, but I'm not talking about it on TV.
Yes, we're going to keep it PG here. We're going to keep it.
Okay, I take mine back.
Well, Bella, I know you have. Well, obviously, I know you have a secret talent. I would love you to.
Not so secret.
Not so secret. I would love you to introduce your little friend.
Little friend. Well, say hello to my little friend. Before I do, I actually am. During lockdown, I have been working and I've been doing weekly videos for the littlies. So I've been doing like Bible stories on Sundays and Travel Tuesdays, because our whole thing is you can go anywhere with your imagination, so you don't have to travel. And then our fairy tale Fridays, because I am a Disney princess, so I needed to reinforce that every Friday. So I've been doing that, which has been really, really wonderful with Rosie. So I'll bring her out. She's like, hello.
Rosie. Indeed.
Rosie.
Hello.
Which way does it go?
Hi. Oh, no, I want to see everyone.
Sorry, Rosie. I'm so sorry, Rosie. Please forgive me.
It's okay. Well, Alexandra May, I please have my own show. And Cindy, alter ego, can you come out and talk to me?
Yes, of course.
I'm such a big fan. I would keep you very cool in the summertime. That's how big of a fan I am. And Nathan, can you row my boat gently down the stream?
It's actually pronounced 0 rand, which is how much money I've made since lockdown.
Yes.
Well, it's good to be on the show. Cindy, I'm a very big fan of yours.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm so happy to hear it because I'm just becoming more and more a fan of yours as you're talking.
Thank you. I like that song about I'll be your prostitute.
No, Rosie, it's not that. It's substitute.
Substitute.
Yeah, please
Is
get the
that
words
the
right,
song?
Rosie.
I really like it.
Who told you that word? Was it your mummy?
No, it was Nathan.
Oh!
You know what,
Very day, darling.
Rosie, you are so talented. I want to bring up this picture of you. I mean, just look how beautiful you are. And Ben is
I'm so photogenic.
you are so
Look at me.
is just
You're
right on point. You know, Rosie, can you please tell us a little bit about your journey? So I know that you starred on South Africa's Got Talent.
Yes.
And Bella was just your sidekick. I know all this stuff. But can you please just tell us a little bit about your journey so that people get to know you? Because I do think you deserve your own TV show. You deserve your own universe, Rosie.
Well,
So can you please tell us about yourself.
Well, I was made in China, and so far I've lasted far longer than the coronavirus. So if anyone can beat it, it's me. So my advice is stay home and stay clean.
Yes, I love it. I love it, Rosie.
But
So
I
you
had
gotta
a
do that
nice
along in your
journey.
life, eh?
Huh?
You gotta stay clean.
Yeah, you have to stay clean. Clean humor, clean hands, clean mind, you know. It's very, very important.
I'll fail on that one.
I've done a lot of traveling. I've gone to Nashville. I went to Nashville, but I didn't get to meet Donald Trump, which made me very sad. I think we have a lot in common, Donald Trump and I. You know?
Okay. Why do you say that?
Well, I just think we look similar. And also, I've been in South Africa for a very long time, but I still haven't met Cyril Ramaphosa. And I really want to meet him. I think he's the bee's knees.
I think you should definitely meet our president. I think you two would just have a cracking conversation. And you know, he's done pretty well leading our country, but maybe there's a little bit more advice that you could give him. You know, I don't know, certain things you might want to tell our president. What would you want to suggest to him, perhaps?
Well, it's more the request than a suggestion.
Okay.
Can you please just have Jacob Zuma on just for one speech? I just want to know how
Donald
many
Trump.
cases we have.
I
And
think that's
Donald
a
Trump.
good idea. That is
Maybe Jacob Zuma and Donald Trump all making a speech together.
Can you imagine Rosie, Donald Trump, and Jacob Zuma?
And Miss Piggy.
And Miss Piggy would be a great added person. And
Well, that's Kermit.
No,
I
Nathan,
Kermit.
you're gonna be there.
I sure will, Lucy.
Oh, that's so
And Darth Vader too. Now that we have to wear masks, can we have Darth Vader?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
that's a
you
good
can.
Aw, you're
You
so
can come.
beautiful. Can I
Thank
invite
you.
you? So we do children's shows on Sunday. Maybe you'll come visit.
Yes, I'm in lockdown, so I'm free on a Sunday.
Sweet. Awesome. What do you do every other day? If you're not free on the other days, what are you doing?
I sanitize, I think, I sing, I make little shows.
Well, Rosie was telling us, or Isabella was telling us before that she's doing these videos, like on a Friday because she's obviously a Disney princess, and these other shows.
Fairy Tale Friday.
And I mean, Rosie is just an absolute star in all of those. And I know that people are messaging in and are loving you, Rosie. And I would just suggest
I love you.
Oh, anyone that's got kids that would love to be entertained, head over to Isabella Jane and Rosie's Instagram or Facebook. Instagram, am I right? And these little
And
videos
Facebook, we're on both.
and Facebook, they're gonna come up and they're gonna keep your kids entertained. There's always a lesson in everything she does. She's just a little this combination that happens here is honestly incredible, and people should watch out.
I'm
Well, I just like asking questions, and Bella likes answering them.
That's very fun.
I think it's a lovely combination, and I am just intrigued because you're so beautiful. I mean,
Thank
you are
you.
a princess, and I just love your blonde hair.
Thank you.
Do you think that you can become our president?
I would love that.
I want you to be our president.
I want to
Where's
be
the
the
president?
president.
I vote.
Rosie
I
for
vote
president.
for the nomination. There we go. We got.
Thank you.
Nathan.
Whoa. I want to know some of her
All
policies.
right. Rosie
What
can
do you wanna
become
say,
our
Rob?
president.
Nathan, what do you want to say?
We
I
just
said,
nominated you the U.S. president.
Before I vote, I like to know some policies because look what happened last time, guys.
Yes,
Hey,
exactly.
how about some songs too? Back in the day when we did presidential campaigns, we had a lot of music and songs. And one of my producers, my music producers, when I'm in Nashville, he used to teach President Bush's children how to play the guitar, and he used to travel with President Bush when he
That's
came.
very interesting. Wow.
Is that strange or what?
Wow.
Are, you
Yeah.
in, are you in Nashville, Kay?
No, I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
Can I come visit?
Please do.
My my ex-husband's in North Carolina. I hope he stays there.
Sorry, that's not the one you were talking about earlier, was it?
So cool.
The bad one. No, he wasn't. It's
So
just
I want to share a little thing with you, Cindy. Your story is very heart-rendering to me. I have an invention. My sister was a victim of domestic violence, and I'm highly technical. And so I came out with a patented invention to help prevent domestic violence, and I'm working with law enforcement.
Oh, wow. And
That's
what is
incredible.
that? Is that a gun?
That's how I deal with things. I grew up in Texas and,
Oh,
and
yeah,
the South, and quite frankly, when he found out I was mad, he begged me not to come around him. But so I believe guns can be more dangerous for women who don't know how to use them, and I've worked with a lot of victims.
Yeah.
And I actually went to court with one, which her stories, she'll tell the story better than I do, but he tried to attack her after the court session in the courthouse, and I threw a punch at him.
Wow. Go Kim.
I'm only 5'2", right?
Oh, yeah.
He's 6'2", but anyway, so, but
That's another story for another day, and we will connect on that.
but here's the thing is that your story is very endearing to me because there's 12 million victims a year. A lot of people don't know that. The fact that you probably put this in your book, I cannot wait, or I'm looking forward to. This is a better way I'm looking forward to reading your book.
Thank you.
I love that this is almost, I know Nathan, and I know you would agree with me, it's women power. This is such a great combo of people on the screen, and Nathan's in this. Well, Nathan,
Nathan is very in touch with his feminine side.
I am. Actually, I was rated by gay men and crossdressers as being a 6 on the scale.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I know that. Because you
And upside down is a 9.
I know, which is pretty close.
You are winning,
good
Nathan.
stuff. Because
I love
I've
that.
known Nathan for a while,
Yeah.
and I don't know him like we're best friends or anything, but I absolutely adore him and respect him. But from the time I met him, he was sensitive to a point of not being a wussy, but to know, to be sensitive to a woman or anybody. And I like that in a man. I like my men to be men. I like the Neanderthal, That's what I like. I like a man, but he's got to have.
Why we never dated.
So,
But he's in touch with his feelings.
That's
right.
There's a reason for that, Cindy. And
Even though I like the Neanderthals, I need them to have that other side. You see,
I love
I want
that.
both. I want both.
Yeah, you want all your cake and to eat it.
So
I
she
want
wants the icing too. And you know, there's nothing wrong with having a man who likes to go shop. There's
no,
nothing wrong
what's
with that.
wrong?
That's funny.
Or a guy
The
who's
really rough
You,
guy
you're on
that-
the edge.
I have to draw the line. I'm still the kind of man that will just go in and get what I want. I just look at everything to the
okay.
side. But
Thank God for online shopping. Thank God for
Cindy,
online shopping.
there's a reason I suppose I'm a bit like that, and that's because my father passed away when I was 6, and
Okay.
I
Your
was
mom.
raised by my mother, and my
There
older
you go.
brother left home when he was young. So does my mom and my sister and me. So you learn very quickly to put the seat down.
Yeah.
You know, those kinds of things, and all the emotional stuff that goes along with that.
It happens like that. And I think that's a very powerful thing. And it's
Mm.
also to know this and not to become a victim of it. Because a lot of people say, oh, I didn't have a father. And then because of that, I treat men like shit. It's like you've just become a victim of the whole bloody thing. What's that all about? You know, it's learning your lesson and not becoming a victim of your past.
Yeah.
Basically.
Very well put. Very well put.
Well, Nathan,
You know-
I would love it if you could just chat to us about. I know you've sort of spoken to us about your story, but you were recently in Kinky Boots, and then obviously with the band as well. Can you just chat to us about the two different worlds? Because Bella would know because she's obviously done the musical theatre side of things, and then the ventriloquism, like a different world altogether. Could you try and like explain to us how you went from the band and also Swing City and all that, and then put yourself in the place of the musical? What was it like transitioning between the two?
Well, yeah, I suppose one of my best traits is that I'm adaptable. And what happened was I spent Christmas with some friends of mine, and I like speaking in accents. I do a lot of voice work and cartoon voices and things like that. And was talking accents all holiday. And one of the guys that visited one of the days was friends with the director of Kinky Boots, who told him about me. And he called me and he said, we're looking to cast this role. They'd been casting for 2.5 years.
Wow.
And they still hadn't been able to cast this role just because of the accent.
Oh my
And
God.
they said, would you have a crack at it? And yeah, I sent a video from my cell phone and I got into that world. And it is a very different world to the music scene. I mean, first of all, you dress the same. You have to say the same things every night. You're not allowed to acknowledge the audience, which was the biggest thing for me. Because as a singer, you feed off the audience.
Yeah.
As an actor, you put up that fourth wall and you bow to them at the end. So that was a huge transition for me. But I loved it was so amazing. I mean, in the music world, you get a lot of people like me who are sort of, I don't take it that seriously, which is, I've always kind of seen music as a hobby in a way, because that way I don't rely on it for money and it doesn't make me angry. I've met a lot of bitter musicians that do money and then they get angry about it, you know? And then often I've seen a lot of them, you know, move away from music completely because they fall out of love with music. And for me, I never want to do that. So I've always had other things going on. But music is, you know, a part of something that you can't stop doing if you love it.
It's just in you.
When
That's
you
just
know,
what it is.
you're still going because there's something in you that has to come out of you, you know. And if it doesn't come out, then I don't know what happens. I've never let it.
No, that's so true. And I mean, I've seen you. I wasn't able to see Kinky Boots because I was down in Cape Town, and I wasn't able to get there. But I have obviously seen you live with the band, and you are such a charismatic person on stage, like Cindy, like Bella as well. Where you do just engage. You hop in the audience. You're there jamming with us, getting us involved. I mean, you're such a character on stage, and I can't understand. I don't know how I would be able to, as myself as a musician who also relies on audience like energy to sort of put your blinkers on and just play the role. I mean, Bella, how did you're a comedian, which is the same
Yeah.
thing. So you rely on audience feedback. You can't do anything without audience feedback. I don't even know how you do some like stuff like via like filming and whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
How
even Rosie is all based on audience participation, and also singing is based on that for me. I've always been, like what you were saying, Nathan, I've always been very much involved with the audience. I never just sing to a crowd. I try and find someone, look at you and sing to you, because you are my target locked. But with musical theater, with Evita and playing the mistress, it's such a beautiful and iconic moment in the show. And I was very fortunate to be working with Dan Kuttner personally, which is the late Hal Prince's right-hand man. And we were sitting in a room for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And I remember my fear going into musical theater was, I'm going to be told what to do. I'm not going to have any say, and I just have to do it. But I had the completely opposite experience with Dan and Guy Simpson, who was our musical director in that room that day. They sat with me and spoke with me saying, you know, where are you at with this? What do you want to say with the song? And it basically gave me permission to, in that moment, which is the only moment really in Evita where the fourth wall can be broken, they allow me to break that fourth wall and actually look at audience members and see them, which is such a privilege being in musical theater, because you kind of look through, you look at a general area. Generally, it's like that typical musical theater stance. But I was really fortunate to be able to engage with people in the audience in that moment, which was incredible. So
then, I mean, did you find that it was a different sort of battery that you had to, like a different switch in your head that you had to put on? Because on one hand, you're trying to draw inspiration from an audience when it comes to comedy, because you're drawing material as you go, you know, you're on your feet thinking. And then with this, it's a completely different thing where you're not just trying to draw their feelings. And were you able to spot those people who were crying with you? Because your song, Another Suitcase, Another Wall, was a heart-wrenching song. And as your big sister, I literally watched how many shows, and every single time you had people either in complete silence because they didn't know what to do, or there was just a standing ovation. So how was it then connecting with people in that way?
I kind of had to look at it in two ways. The one way was me as a human being. I am singing the song. I'm saying the words. I'm feeling the message. I'm looking at these people. But the bottom line is, in that space, I have to act. I'm playing another human being. Yeah. But, you know, you get a lot of people who approach acting differently. And for me, the way that I've approached it in that forum in particular was, who am I in this role? So the mistress, I haven't ever been in a president's bedroom and kicked out, but I've been, I mean, really? What boring line.
You haven't lived.
But
Come on, girl.
You're right. I would never get kicked out. No.
You're not even old enough to drink yet, so come on, let's go. I'm just kidding.
I've just recently.
It's her birthday, right?
Yeah, 21st.
21, yeah.
I found like where I relate to it. So I've been rejected. I've been heartbroken. I felt alone. I felt hopeless. And rather connecting that person, those feelings, those real emotions. I mean, I went through a breakup when I was doing the show, and exactly what the song spoke about, I was singing and I was going through. So there were moments where it was genuinely me actually working through issues and genuinely trying to find an answer. And then there were moments where there was me relating to a time in my life, and putting myself back in that space. So it was,
that is amazing.
I had to really adopt a mentality of I mean, I started doing this and leaving it there.
Wrapping yourself in of it, leaving it behind.
And keeping it there, because you kind of put yourself, and Nathan, you would know, it's like you put yourself in whatever space, whether you're playing a villain, you get that part inside of you that we all have that is brought out. If you're playing a princess, that part inside that we bring out.
Which is just
and-
naturally there, actually.
Yeah, of course.
I had quite a weird experience when they called me for Kinky Boots. The director said, "Listen, we're trying to cast this character who's a bigot, homophobe, just a horrible, nasty person, and we think you'd be perfect for it." And I was like,
What a
I
great compliment.
you know, and it was a hard thing for me to find because I don't really have any of those
Qualities.
qualities. I mean, I've
Yeah.
never
absolutely
beaten up a
beautiful.
person for their sexual preference in my life.
I don't
that's
see
what
that. I'm
acting
sorry.
is.
I would have never cast you for that. I don't see
No,
it.
but that's what acting is. To put
Yeah.
somebody in a role that they naturally don't fit in. You
Yeah.
know, and acting is acting.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
what
do-
it is.
one of the
And
things I do
when you were talking about your, you know, comparing it to music and stuff, I've not done it, but I would think, you know, the acting thing is very structured. You got to hit your mark. You got to make sure you're on time. You on his spec. You got to be behind him. La 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 la. And in music, you can be as free as you want to. I run around the stage with my microphone and scream and shout and touch people and look at them walk into the audience, but you can't do that in a play.
No, you're uncensored and uncut when you're on stage like you're talking about. I
Well,
mean,
well. This has been
We
quite
heard.
a lovely little chatty wet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I got a question though for Isabel.
Is everybody
So-
frozen except me? Oh God, here I go again.
How do you think with two brains, right? You got your beautiful little, and then you got to answer for them, and then she's answering for you. I mean, how do you think with two
Guys,
brains?
I can't do this. I'm out
Oh.
again.
Uh-oh.
Um,
No, you're there. You're here. You're here.
I had this conversation with my
I'm
my
here.
mom the other day.
But I can't see anybody. Damn it.
Oh dear.
I'm done. I can't do this
Um,
anymore. I'm exhausted.
I had this
Oh.
conversation with my mum the other day of basically splitting my brain, like you're saying. And I remember when I was a year or two ago, I was doing an event and I was talking to a man who was actually from Texas. I was talking to him, and I had Rosie, and the little girl wanted to talk to Rosie. So while the little girl was talking to Rosie, I was answering
Darling,
the man
Jules
from
won't contact you if you're coming in
Texas.
3 weeks. He's got so
And
many other
then
shows, but I will ask him to
when
please
he
do
was
that.
talking to me. I had Rosie responding to the young girl. So I found myself completely splitting my minds, and it took me a while to kind of grasp that concept and understand what was happening in my head. And it's really developed over the years of doing Rosie, not as a puppet, but like I said earlier, completely as a friend, as a form of therapy, as someone who I genuinely see as someone who I can talk to and someone who I can trust, which sounds a little bit crazy in itself, but it's the beauty of ventriloquism and puppetry and how puppets really are used for therapy, and how people are able to say anything and everything to them because they don't judge. So I think it's that what I found in her, but beyond that, what came before that was really splitting my brain and finding someone. And I found Rosie, and it's inside of me, and I believe that everyone has it, something in them that I've, from when I was younger, was able to unlock and unleash into a genuine little human being who makes me laugh. Because I think
Me
she's
laugh too. She makes me laugh.
oh,
I mean,
I'm so glad.
And I find that it's quite cool that I was there when that Texas man, the guy from Texas, sort of was speaking to Rosie, and it's such a weird thing to have people completely ignore Isabella. Completely,
They don't even care about me.
They want to know about Rosie. They want to know what the
Mm.
boundaries are. They want to know how she's able to talk to them, and it's such a great way to look at people's like psyche, their mind. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's been really wonderful. And also around the world, like I took her to China because I took her home really when I was there last year, and
Move on.
yeah, and no one speaks English. I mean, you're lucky if you find one slight of the younger generation who speaks a fair amount, but
Yeah.
the majority, you walk around, no one knows why on earth I'm there. No one knows. They just want to touch my hair, and they don't know what I'm saying, but I bring Rosie out, and suddenly, for some reason, the most bizarre thing that this human being could do in China, she does, and everyone's calm.
Yeah.
They somehow are more connected to her than they are to me.
It's like
And
music
I'm
is
so
like that
foreign to them.
language. It's like music is that universal language. Just to be able, you might not understand it, but you can just hear music and you're in that place. I think when it
Yeah.
comes to any sort of entertainment, whether it's like theater, even if you can't understand
Dancing.
the lyrics, you still somehow connect to it because of the emotion. And with Rosie and with a character like Rosie, I can't actually say character, a person like Rosie, you just connect to her. She's in that genre. She's in that space where she's a universal language, which I find that fascinating.
And
I
also
find it calming, right? You're not being judged by a puppet.
No.
Exactly.
It's what I've always loved about it. I've been
Judge
able
her.
to break so many barriers, and I mean, we've got so many townships in South Africa, which is really, really heartbreaking. But I've come from a very privileged background, a very good upbringing, stable, and if my parents had money problems, I didn't know about it because they just kept it from me when I was growing up. And food was always there, and I was fine. Nothing in the world is wrong because I'm fine. And then I was exposed to not just going or driving past a township. I went in to work with our police force and the youth crime prevention desk to work inside with children there. And my whole world changed. Everything changed for me. I suddenly saw what life is, what people are. And I couldn't connect with my peers at school because I was like, you don't get it. Because we all come from such a sheltered, beautiful upbringing. We don't understand it. And I was able to take Rosie in there, and it sounds horrendous, I had nothing in common. Nothing in common with these kids, and that broke my heart even more. But I couldn't connect with them, but Rosie could, and she could get through, and they had something in common with Rosie. They could talk to her, they could be with her, they could be honest, they could tell their sorrows and their hurts and their hardships to her, which they couldn't to me, which at first I found really sad that I couldn't relate. But then through Rosie, I kind of learned how to, and
she did
saw.
work for you.
Yeah, she did it for me, and it's incredible that she can do the same with little kids and speak the kid language and adults, and I would love to take all the credit and say, it's my brain and I'm really good with people, but it's honestly one of the most incredible and underrated and understated arts in history. Not what I do, but what the actual forum is. It's mind blowing what she can do, and it's not even what I do. It's what she, as a little inanimate object, is able to break through. For me, it's why I do it.
And has Rosie ever sang?
Yeah, she loves to sing.
Can she sing us a song? We did everybody but Rosie. Can she sing?
That's so true. We didn't do Rosie in our Writers Round. How sad. How sad. Rosie,
What should I sing? Hello.
My love.
Can I sing my theme tune, Dilla?
You can sing your theme tune.
Go forth.
Rosie is my potted pal. Her hair is straight and yellow. I wear a dress that's think of you, and we both say hello.
Oh man, meet Rosie.
Oh my gosh!
For her show, every time she has a show, she has this
Alexandra, you've got quite the family.
I know. We're like the Von Trapp family now with Rosie.
I want to say something.
Rosie.
Go for it.
Go for it,
Kimberly,
Rosie.
so we can do kids things on Sunday, hey?
Yes, please.
So Nathan talks about animals too for little kids, and he has a show about the Kruger, which is the Kruger National Park in South Africa. Hey,
No way. No
That's
way.
correct,
Oh my
Rosie.
gosh. So I am
so
so
we can do a
into-
show together.
We
Oh
sure
my
can.
gosh. So I'm the biggest kid on the show. And Kit will tell you, like, I'm the biggest kid on the show. We got 4-year-olds there, but I'm right there with them. So
That's so
yes, yay! We'll get you guys lined up. I'm looking forward to it. Look what you did, Alexandra. You gave everybody a show.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna tune in and watch this. I mean, I literally live for what Bella does, and I live for what Nathan does.
Well, I love your show that you're doing. Are you going to have lots of big guests?
My show.
Yes, your show.
Your show.
Oh,
The Alexandra May Music Cafe.
yeah.
Fun. I'm sitting outside. The sun is shining.
I think this is the best show.
Oh, that's so nice, Rosie. I think I'm gonna have you on as a regular, just to pop
Yes.
in and say hi. Will you just pop in and
Yes.
say hi to people for me?
As long as I can talk to famous people. Kimberly, can you arrange big famous people to come
Like
on
Miss
the show?
Piggy, you know, all of the
No,
big
not
people.
people like Nathan, because he's really famous.
I think he's cute. I think Nathan is cute. So yeah, we'll get Nathan on. So
Isabella was really famous, but now I don't know if you can see in the image there, she's actually in Rosie's shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
poor
my goodness.
Isabella.
I would actually like to bring up
Yeah.
something, because we were chatting about a minute ago. We were chatting about that fourth wall, right, Nathan? You were talking about that fourth wall, but not being able to communicate with the audience.
Yeah.
And now it's almost like we're living behind. So
Yeah.
COVID-19 and lockdown, we're literally living behind the fourth wall. We have no way of getting on a live stage and communicating with our audience, because I find as an artist, that's our biggest superpower, to be able to get on stage and communicate, because that's where you build
Yeah.
your fans, you know.
I actually didn't used to believe it was a superpower. I used to still think everyone could do it until you ask someone to go out on stage and say something. They're like, "Oh my goodness, no, I could never do that." And you're like,
Right.
"Really?"
But but we just do it. I think it's just you sort of are born with that thing, or it's a skill that's developed. But there's something in us that we're able to do that. We have that special power in us. So I just want to get your opinion, because I struggled in the beginning of lockdown, because my energy release is to be up on stage and to just perform my music and to talk to people, and I'm that sort of person where I need that energy. I found it really hard, but now I'm starting to find little avenues to sort of still communicate with people, you know, doing live streams, live videos, releasing music, all those things. What are the ways that you've found? Are you struggling with that, or have you found little outlets? What have you been doing as an artist that uses it, that has lost their superpower in a way?
Well, you know, you get introverts and extroverts, and the extroverts charge their own energy by getting it from other people, which is often musicians. I'm actually more on the introverted side of the spectrum, so I'm actually fine by myself. I don't need a lot to recharge. But what I do just enjoy being with people. I must say, I do enjoy it. I enjoy giving. And the thing I battled with most in lockdown is becoming, I don't know if you've heard of creative apathy. Not creative apathy, creative atrophy. So, you know, if you don't exercise for a long time and then get up and run, it hurts, because you have lactic acid that literally stops muscles from working. And with creativity, it's the same kind of thing. If you're not using your creativity, it becomes harder to do it, essentially. So what I've just been doing is I've been bouncing from little project to little project. I mean, I started doing a nature documentary series in my garden.
I love it. I've loved it.
It's brilliant.
It really is.
And then my girlfriend Tammany wrote the Kruger Critters, and we recorded them and put them together as little things, and we got children to draw pictures of the animals, and then we put them into the stories.
Oh, wow.
And that's been a lot of fun. And then I do gigs, and the little live gigs are different because there's that fourth wall. It's like literally a screen, and you can't hear the energy, you can't feel the energy, but there's still something in the giving that is so important, And I think for all artists, as long as you give, whether you get anything in return, the giving is the important thing. Like I said earlier, a singer or a songwriter or an actor or whatever, they just need to put whatever's inside of them outside of them, and that's what you have to keep doing, even in lockdown.
No, it's very true. And I think, one of the very first lessons I learned because I started out sort of at school doing drama and singing. I started out doing everything. And one of the biggest lessons I learned, and the first lesson I learned, was that you're not a performer until you make your audience feel something, which means it's not about you. It means you got to work at your craft to make sure that they have an emotional experience, whether it be that they have to cry with you, or they think back to a nostalgic memory, or they're happy and they want to dance around with you. So anything like that, I think that's what you're talking about, where it's not about you. It's about making the audience feel something. That's it.
And I think you could have said it any better. And many artists are the same way. Even artists like paintings and where you don't get that immediate feedback from your audience. You might not even be there to hear their expressions or see them. But it's all about putting it out there.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly
Getting it expressed. And I've learned so much. So here's the thing. I've probably lived 3 or 4 times your lifetimes. And I've seen many things happen to our economy. I've been through a lot of hurricanes, temporary shutdowns. And I too, like your friend Cindy, I had to spend 3 to 6 months incapacitated. I couldn't move for 3 months. So when they told me that we're going to be locked down for 3 months, I'm like, I got this. I got this.
Yeah.
I got the T-shirt.
I've done it. I couldn't move my arms or legs for 3 to 6 months and had to learn how to walk again. So, but my question is to you young, vibrant people, how has this made you feel?
Well,
I'll start. We'll go in a circle. And I don't want to take over your show, Alexandra. I'm just curious. But yeah, we'll start with you, Alexandra.
Oh, okay. This way. Well, you know what? I think because I sort of draw on, Nathan, you were speaking about being introvert and extrovert. I think I'm an extroverted introvert. Does that make sense?
It does. There's a crossover a lot of time.
I'm very happy to be by myself, but when I'm in a space where I'm like comfortable, and I know I'm okay in that space, I'm like out of control. I'm like crazy, and that's that part where I draw on people's energies, like on stage. To get that energy is absolute life. To know that you've got that approval in a way is to know that you're doing something good in their worlds is a great feeling, and so you sort of just want to give more. And if I were to speak about how this lockdown, how I feel about it, it's that I really do miss giving that energy, and I miss people. I miss being able to just communicate and see people's facial expressions and look at their tones of voices and how they're interacting with me. Just to have somebody sort of at a restaurant to get up and just wave and like give a thumbs up, thank you so much for playing, then walk out. It's such a great feeling to have that. So I find that I do struggle with it, but I find that these live videos are awesome, especially like with these comments. These comments are incredible, and people are just so encouraging, and it proves that they're also missing it. We're all missing the social interaction. And you mentioned something, and whenever I like to talk to people about the show that we're now doing at this music cafe. Like you've said before, it shouldn't be social distancing. It should be physical distancing. We shouldn't be socially distancing out there. We should still be social, still talk to each other, still check in with each other. Because we found that without that, we struggle like crazy. I know I struggle just to know that somebody's going to drop you a text. That's all you need, So I found that I'm growing through this experience, definitely. So I'm surviving. I'm definitely surviving lockdown.
Oh, you're a survivor. I met you. From the moment you walked up to Jim and said, "Can I borrow your guitar?" I'm like, this girl's got it. So we're going to go in a circle and but Isabella, share with us, because I want to know how the young people feel.
Yeah.
I'm quite a social person. I have, at least a weekly coffee with a mate and go over for a braai, which is like a barbecue, at friends more than a couple of times a month. And that's been really hard, not being able to do things that I have in my everyday life to kind of keep me sane. But I mean, I've read so many posts about people saying, well, this is the time to see who your real friends are. And I say, well, let's not put that much pressure on everyone around us. This is not the time to see who your real friends are. This is the time to stay home and stay safe. And if you want to check in on someone, then check in on that person because you want to, not because you're trying to prove something. And on the opposite spectrum of where I'm at in my life is with, performing and everything. And there's so much pressure on creatives, in particular, of creating things and saying, well, this is your time to make everything. And again, it's not. This is your time to stay home and not spread and not contract. However, we're in such a unique and amazing situation in life, which a lot of people have said is a bit like a reset and, time to really figure out who and what we are in our social lives, in our friendships, in our relationships, and in our careers. And for me, I found a lot of comfort in creating. And it's proven to me that my work means far more than what I thought it did. I thought it was a massive part of my life, but now that I'm creating in a space where that's really all I have, I don't have weekly coffees, I don't have barbecues and friends. I am creating. It's really showing me how much joy that can bring to me and how much joy it can bring to other people, which has been really amazing because we've seen the whole world unite in everything. In conversation, and why I say it's not about friends checking up on who your real friends are, because I've had complete strangers message me and ask me how I'm doing, who I've never met in my life, and they ask, how are you? Are you okay? And it's not about friendship. It's not about your little circle. It's not about the cliques in a group. It's about the whole of humanity doing something together for the first time in my lifetime. So lockdown has been far more than just staying at home. It's been creating and learning and making and fixing, and it's been so much more, and especially spending something like Easter at home and having church at home and online. And that's something that has been a massive part of my life. When we go to church every Sunday and you're there physically with people, and now suddenly having to have all the distractions of home while you're at church. It's that same changing your mindset. It's while you're at home trying to work with all these distractions, it's changing your mindset. Even if I hate replying to people, I don't do it well. I'll take weeks to respond to anyone. And this
Don't feel bad if it takes weeks, folks.
It's so, no, I mean, I'm much better now because in this time I've become a lot more responsive. And if someone sends me a message, I message them back, and this like the smallest of changes where, I'll phone people and I'm making like little things that I never really did. And not just meeting a friend for coffee. I actually care. And I actually want to know if they're okay, along with strangers and random people on Facebook and with my videos and with all of these things. It's just, it's all been these mind changes that I never knew we could humanly do, but it seems like the whole world is doing. So it's slowly but surely. I mean, what's really cool is what we're doing now. We're doing basically what Miley Cyrus is doing, which means we're basically Miley Cyrus because we're all doing live stuff, chatting to people, and we're all doing the same thing. You know, it's like if I'm doing a live show, I'm just as cool as John Legend because he's doing a live show too. We're all
Love that.
we're
We're
all
different.
completely. It's the equalizer.
A great leveler.
If
It's
you
it's
ever
Yeah.
played chess, you will realize we're all equal on the board.
Yeah.
Right? It's just it becomes the matter of the moves you decide to take and not be afraid to make them. I don't play chess. They keep trying to make me play chess. I'm not doing it. So, all right, guys, you want to hear something crazy about changing your life, right? Engineer my whole life. You would have never seen me in front of a camera talking in public ever 4 years ago. And I went to a PBS hackathon. Introvert. You talk about introvert, Nathan. Engineer. All right. But I own my own company. So I'm boardroom, courtroom, and classroom. I hired my own PR. And when I met the executive producer of this one particular show at the hackathon, I told him up front, you will never see me on that side of the camera, but I will help you do what you're doing because I believe in what you're doing. And I kid you not, 4 months later, I'm on the TV show. And 2 years later, I'm speaking in front of thousands of students at NC State University. So these little changes are good for you because you've done self-exploration. And what I tell people is that if you're comfortable, you're not growing. So what this little incident did to all of us did what? It made us all comfortable. Just like I don't normally email people. Now you do, or you respond back. Look at
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
you self-explored. You pivoted, right?
Mm.
And
That's
so
exactly
I think it's interesting that that you've done that self-exploration. And I'm gonna tell you what, they didn't take her wisdom out with her tooth, did they? Little Miss Fancy Man. This is Alexandra Show, but I got one more person to answer my question, Nathan.
So I'm not as young as these guys, but I guess I've also been seeing it much like what Isabella was saying. I've seen it as the Great Awakening in a way, in a lot of ways. She was about we have a lot of disparity in this country when it comes to finances. We have a lot of poverty in this country, and I think it's brought that to the fore. I've seen such beautiful videos of people ordering food and then just giving it to the delivery guy, things like that. Really beautiful, and I think it's a time for people to go inside themselves and get to know themselves, because I think we live in a world of distractions that keep us from spending time with ourselves, and this has sort of forced it, and it is scary because a lot of people don't like themselves at all, and they don't want to spend time with that person, so, and they need the constant distractions. But the thing is that, and I can't stress this enough, if you're one of those people maybe that don't love spending time with yourself, is that you are worthy of love and you can create your own love. I read an awesome book called The Mastery of Love, and the author speaks mostly about self-love, loving yourself. And I think what Cindy even said right in the beginning, you got to take care of yourself. You have to love yourself before you can even begin to love someone else. So it is a great first step, and I really hope that this lockdown and this isolation is going to send us rocketing into the age of Aquarius, which is apparently happening December this year. I don't know if you know that. I'm not much of a star sign person, but I just heard that in December this year is the age of Aquarius, which is an age of love and peace and joy, basically like the 60s.
I love that. I love that. I'm just going to bring Vigo. I think that we've all sort of learned quite a bit during this time. As you said, Nathan, it's a great time to look at who you are inside and just sort of focus on that person. How would you then? I mean, you speak about being introverted, and so this is kind of like your natural habitat in a way. But then, I mean, as an extrovert on stage, in a way, you come across an extrovert on stage. How would you then? I don't know. Help people out in that space where they are just trying to become, are they just as extroverts that need that attention? how would you then encourage somebody just to like look at yourself? What would you advise? What books, if you, I know you sort of you love your books and all that as well, and your general knowledge. How would you then advise someone to sort of just become interested, take a step back, and
Well, the
this is
thing about
whatever
introverts and the thing about introverts and extroverts, first of all, is that it's not necessarily that extroverts need attention and introverts don't like attention. That's not
Sure.
really it. It's more about how you recharge your own energy. So,
Yeah.
we have energy. And so you can get an energetic introvert. It's just the way they recharge is by themselves. They go and they spend time by themselves. An extrovert recharges by spending time with people. And then they go and they get their power back. So my energy on stage, I don't really see it as an extrovert energy. I just see it as energy that I'm able to give on stage because I've been able to recharge by myself.
Interesting. That's really interesting. I find that really interesting. I mean, I don't know, Bella, would you say you're an extrovert? So do you draw your energy from people, or how would you draw your energy? You know, I mean, do you even think about it? I've never even thought about it, to be honest. Like, I just know that I feed
think-
off an audience.
Well, I had a singing teacher who explained it so wonderfully. He says, you are the timekeeper as a performer.
True.
And you create waves. So singing is an ocean, and you control those waves for the people, and you control how fast they're going, how slow they're going. So I think perhaps if we want to dive like quite philosophically into that, it meets in the middle for me, like in like a little universe of its own that no one really has control over. I don't, and the audience don't either. We kind of meet in the middle, and there's an explosion of energy, and I get it from there, because it's both what I'm giving and what the audience is giving, because it has to be an equal 50-50 partnership, like any good relationship is. And it's what it is. It's a dance when you're singing, and it's a game. It's tossing between what they're feeling and what you're feeling, and finding a happy medium, because not everyone's been through what we've been through.
Yeah.
But there's something in
that connect.
There's something there that's running parallel, and there's just every once in a while that I think.
I like that.
That makes sense.
I do like that idea. I do like that idea. And I think I find this sort of thing very like fascinating, because as musos, I think for me, because I feed off the energy of an audience, and just to explore how other people do it, because who said that? Oh, it was you, Nathan, who said that some people they don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, Nathan. I don't know how you do it. So I mean, I find this sort of thing fascinating. But you know what, guys? I think that we should, to round off the show, we should each do another song. Are you guys cool with that?
So
100%.
cool.
Well, Nathan, why don't you start, and then we'll
Nice.
go down to Bella, and then we'll come around to me, and then it's a nice way to round off the show.
Is there a topic?
Typical girl.
Typical girl.
Or Joseph.
Girl, not yet a woman. All I need is time. An operation that is mine.
I love that song. Grew up to that stuff.
I wrote a song while we were talking for Isabella.
Of course you did.
Did you
Yeah.
write a song in 2 seconds?
Yeah, it's only 4 lines, and it goes, when you're in pain, in misery,
So glad I inspired this.
go and see a dentist. The tooth will set you free. I'm joking. That's not my
You're a genius, Nathan, an absolute genius.
It actually made it hurt more.
Sorry. Here's a happy song for you. It's
'Kay.
called If I Go.
Nice.
It's basically about if I got corona and passed away. If I go, will you take me with you? If I leave, you know I don't mean to leave you behind. If I go, you know that I'll be back soon. because my dreams and me, oh, we live in a little brick house in the city, and no one seems to know that we still sing the blues. Oh, and no one knows my blues like you do. If I go, then my bed will be empty, but my dreams are on the pillow where I left them. And just by breathing, breathe them in, because my dreams and me, oh, we walked in a park not far from the city, and no one seems to know that we still sing the blues. Oh, and no one knows my blues like you do. If I die, I will push up daisies for you. If I leave, I'll leave you 10,000 angels too, as you dream, to make sure you're sleeping okay. Because I walked this road, and I sung this song, and I hope I get to the bridge, and the angels say that they like the way I gave all I could give. And then the good Lord said, I like the way you live.
I love that. Yeah.
That's a nice one.
I love that. You know, I mean, Nathan, you like, you know, I'm like a huge fan of you, and it gets silly sometimes. But I mean, you're so funny. Like your first song is absolutely flipping hilarious, and then you come up with these little, you come up with gems of songs. Honestly, every song you sing is just like a hit. It's just like such a great song. I was already like swaying along and singing along to this. I mean, you're just amazing. Just
Thank
like right
you.
more. Right?
Yeah,
More.
I hope it holds on. I'm busy writing a musical, as I mentioned earlier.
I know. Tell us about this musical quickly.
Isabella has sung one of the songs for me already, which is great. I can't tell you too much because it's not out yet. But I'll let you know when I've got something to tell you about. But it's exciting.
So excited for it. I'm so excited, Nathan.
Preserve that intellectual property. I just want to know. I love that song.
Thank you so much.
And I love the part of pushing up the daisies. There's something that, you know, I paid attention. Love the song. I want that on my funeral. All right.
We'll go on, Bella. It's your turn on the round.
So I wrote this song quite recently, and I was toying if I should do it or not, but actually I think I'm going to, because I wrote it about being, you know, in lockdown and distancing and all of that. So it's a bit of a fun song, but not so fun, but fun. I like it. We must refrain from going outside. It is the only way that we can save lives. The ones who are dear to us can't be near to us no more. The ones who are close to us must stand away from us some more. Isolation, but never alone in this world. Isolation, together but separate in this world. We are afraid of losing our minds. 'Cause we must stay inside. It's a sacrifice we've got to make to stay safe and strong. But if we all work together, this won't last very long. Isolation together but separate in this world. Isolation but never alone in this world. Isolation together but separate in this world. Isolation together but never alone in this world.
Aw, that's a nice message. I love that.
Thank
done,
you.
Well done. And when did you write that? You wrote that song recently.
Yeah, I had some inspiration.
That makes sense. You had some
I believe
inspiration.
And the time.
I had time and inspiration, and the opportunity
We've got time
became a
coming out of our
song.
ears. We've got time coming out of our ears in lockdown. That's absolutely hilarious.
She has a voice of an angel, doesn't she?
Sure
I know, right?
And can we get, I want to get all of this on recording and uploaded on IBM TV, all of your songs about the lockdown and everything. We need these. So I'm going to let you go. I just had to pipe in. I'm beaming out.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a song that I like to play when I'm in Nashville because it reminds me of home. Because I wrote it with Fred from Hevels Fantasties. And we were just sort of jamming for a couple of days, and this is one of the songs that came out of that session. And whenever I introduce it in the States, I have to introduce it the same way here because I think it's quite important. I like to describe the song as getting to know me because there are 3 important things you guys should know about me. 1, I love a good book. I love a good Nicholas Sparks romantic novel. A good book gets me hooked. So like I'm there like a bear with a good book. Number 2, and Nathan, you'll appreciate this, I love to crochet. It's like knitting, but for old people. So, I mean, it's you obviously get hooked on crocheting, duh. And then 3.
I thought it was pronounced crotchet.
Crotchet. You got to crotchet, not crochet. You got to crotchet. And then the last one.
Play croquet.
Play crochet.
Play crochet. Croquet.
You should start your own music festival called Crochella.
And we would get away with it, wouldn't we? We would get away with it. Crochet, I love that.
And we have
then
a
the
massive
last
star
thing-
called Crochet.
Oh my goodness. Then the last thing on my list of being hooked is I love to fly fish. I learned to fly fish with my dad when I was a kiddie. And so
Fly fish. I heard that line in your song earlier and I was like, I want to fly like a fish. What is
No. Fly fish. I've caught my own dinner. Like I can fly fish.
I respect the woman who
No,
can.
shame.
fly
It
fish.
was a plastic
That's pretty
packet, but she attempted to eat it.
Oh, stop it. It was a big fish like this.
Clean up heartbeat sport term.
Hashtag. Well, this song is called Hooked. Well, there isn't much between us, just enough to make me feel like I can spend my summer days with you. Got my hand making waves outside the left-hand window, and my ravens looking at the view. And I know I might be coming on a little bit stronger than I like to. I'm so into you. One put out the line, that's all it took. Like my favorite line from my favorite book. You got me hooked, yeah, I want you. You got me hooked, yeah, I need you. When I'm with you, every day is like a Saturday night. You got me hooked, yeah, I want you. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah, and you got me hooked, yeah, yeah, and you got me hooked, yeah, yeah, and you got me hooked, yeah, I want you, yeah, I need you tonight. Got the feeling like I'm tripping on a sweet, sweaty summer, and I know it's all because of you. And the sound of old Taylor on my Spotify playlist, making memories on the radio. Yeah, the beats got me moving, and these streetlights got me wishing that the season it'll never end. One pull off the line, that's all it took. Like my favorite line from my favorite book. You got me hooked, yeah, I want you. You got me hooked, yeah, I need you. When I'm with you, every day is like a Saturday night. You got me hooked, yeah, I want you. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah, yeah. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah. You got me hooked, yeah, I want you, yeah, I need you tonight. Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah, we're rolling down the dirt road in your blue Cadillac. Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm a sucker for your love and never going back. You guys ready? You got me hooked, yeah, I want ya. You got me hooked, yeah, I need ya. When I'm with you, every day is like a Saturday night. You got me hooked, yeah, I want ya. You got me hooked, yeah, I want ya. You got me hooked, yeah, I need ya. When I'm with you, every day is like a Saturday night. You got me hooked, yeah, I want ya. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah. You got me hooked, yeah, yeah. You got me hooked, yeah, I want you, yeah, I need you tonight. Woo! Go band! What a great band! That was fun. Oh my goodness!
I hope the sound is coming through of what we were
Yeah,
playing.
me
It
too,
was
me too.
It was a whole
It was
band.
beautiful. All of
Everything
y'all.
was playing. It was awesome.
I was
Give me
doing
feedback.
bass, electric guitar, and keyboard.
What were you playing, Nathan?
I was playing drums, then piano, then saxophone.
I thought it
was
all
playing.
sounded great. And Kim was
Feedback.
shoop shoop in the back. Shoop shoop.
I was feeding you the fan energy.
Oh, that is it. Feed the fan energy. I love that. That is so funny. Oh,
I'm the fan energy.
we have got a ton of comments of these live comments here, and there's one that I've just come across now. So Christian Bartman, who lives in South Africa, he says here in his comment and this is to Cindy, come record the audiobook at my studio as a gift.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
he's going to give his time and his studio and everything for Cindy to come and record her book as an audiobook. And I think I'm gonna message her and just show her this. I'm gonna take a picture of this comment
Can
here.
you take a picture of this? I'm not seeing all of your comments. I'm trying to. I'm still new to the system, but I'm more new to the computer. This is a new computer. So yeah.
No,
So,
that's amazing. I will send this to Cindy, and thank you so much, Christian. That is so generous of you, so wonderful of you. I'm going to put you two in contact. I've got both your deets, so I'm going to put both of you in contact. And you two. I mean, Cindy unfortunately had to drop because all the South African interwebness. She unfortunately couldn't join us for this last round. I know she really missed it. She messaged me just now saying she's missing it and she's really sorry. So it was awesome having Cindy here. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Rosie for joining us. Very important. Thank you, Rosie, for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Ah, thanks. And you know what, guys? Let's do this again. I'm gonna be here every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'd love to have you two back. Even if you just pop in for 10 minutes, please pop in and just jam a tune if you feel like it. I would love you guys to happen again. And thank you so much to everyone who's watching tonight. Oh, this afternoon for you guys in the States, for us in the evening. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do this again. I'm gonna be here same time, same place. Big shout out to IBM.TV. Thank you for letting us do this on this channel. You guys have been awesome. But for now, I think it's good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, arigatou gozaimasu.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.